Welcome to Perfect-ish, where it's not about having perfect time management, but about perfecting your relationship with time. I'm your host, Callie Brigham, and every week we'll talk all things time and how to maximize it without burnout or guilt. Whether we're chatting with an expert or I'm sharing my 20 years of time management experience, you'll learn simple strategies to make every moment count. Here, it's all about getting close to perfect-ish. So let's synchronize our watches and dive in. Hi, friend. Welcome to the Perfect-ish Time Management Podcast. Yes, you are in the right place. And our goal here today is to help you be amazing, but without burnout or perfection, because who has time for that? Not me and not my friends that are here with me. So here's the deal. We're going to be real because that's just how we roll. That's how we are. The holidays are over and so are our bank accounts. Anyone? Anyone? Yeah. Y'all didn't know what I was going to say. That was a good one, right, Shana?
I'm actually going to write.
I love it. Okay, so pretend like they're backstage though still. That was just an extra bonus little laugh here. No, I love it. I love it. We said we were real. So, but we're also tired. The receipts are piling up. January feels like it's just Monday after like one long Monday, but I brought in reinforcements, okay? And they are here. Cue cinematic music. Here come the reinforcements, you guys. Today's guests are two of my absolute favorite people in the world, Vanessa and Shana, aka the Budget Besties. I know you said it with me because you know them and you love them. Everybody said it. And you both are here to help us figure out how to save time and money, how to make time and money work for us instead of the other way around. And fun fact, before I kick it to them, I'm just going to let them take over. By the way, it's a podcast takeover today. But this podcast would not exist. I'm telling you, every time I meet somebody and I talk about it, I'm going to give you both honor. It would not exist without that lunch with you, Vanessa, and your idea, and many, many, many Facebook Messenger conversations with Shana. And she's saying, you got this, girl, and the support every step of the way. So if you love this show, and I know you do, you can give a little thank you to these two women. Okay, so ladies, you are the queens of keeping it simple and practical and fun. So if we are all ready to recover from the holiday spending spree, reclaim our time, laugh a little bit or not, this one is for you. Hi, Budget Besties.
Hey, girl. Welcome 2025.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, so here we are. And you know how everybody feels like fresh new year. Like, I've got this. I'm excited. And then we were like, but it's same old me. Uh-oh. Like,
Oopsies.
Yeah. That could be a problem. I call this season as well, like the holiday hangover season, because we've had all the excitement, all of the things, all the fun. Maybe we overspent our time, our money a little bit. And now we've got a little bit of regret too. And we're thinking, help.
Where's the help?
Help me. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think
It's here.
Yeah, we're here. One of our favorite things to make sure that people understand is there's no time. None of us have any time for shame. So we're going to lock that right up, because what's exciting is it's a brand new, fresh set of 12 months and you can totally take control. Like, we're all here right now. We can take control. We can do a perfect-ish job of setting up a budget in January that is going to serve us all year long. That way we don't have, there's need to be any holiday hangovers anymore.
Well, and it's just, we're looking at the data. Okay. So let's take all the drama out of it, look strictly at the data, make a plan as to what is going on right now, and what do we want to be coming up in the new year.
Okay, so I have a couple quotes. You stole my quote at the beginning, Shana. You can use that. I'm going to steal y'all. First of all, I love no time for shame, and I love data, not drama. So those are hot points right here. Okay, before we get into like, how should you do this? What are some steps? Give us some support. Can I just say that I was thinking about both of you a few weeks ago as I was finishing up my Christmas shopping. So one of the things that I've learned, and thank you all for your genius, is that I set aside money throughout the year, starting even in January, for Christmas shopping. And I was buying a few gifts for a few things. And it felt so fun to buy gifts with money that I had set aside for Christmas. Can I get an amen? I mean, it was like shopping is fun. Christmas shopping is a little bit more fun, but Christmas shopping with cash, even better. So even though we're in January, could we all agree that if we start now, like you said, Vanessa, we're going to feel really different about everything come next year, including Christmas shopping, including when we need new tires, including when the kid has sports dues coming up, all that stuff. So that's why we're starting now for our future feelings.
Oh yeah. It's the perfect time to start. When we have people start like July, August, it's fine. We just don't have that many more months to be able to plan ahead of time for Christmas. So the idea here is to, plan how much did you spend on Christmas this last year? Mm-hmm. What do you think you spent? And it's not just presents, y'all. It's the events. It's the ugly sweaters. It's the teacher gifts, right? It's everything that's included in that. And again, not looking for perfect. We're looking for perfect this year. Let's just get a ballpark number. Take that, divide it by 12. It is January, so you can divide that by 12 and start saving now for 12 months. So that way you are fully prepared, even by Black Friday, right?
So a lot of the overwhelm and anxiety comes from what you were saying, Kelly, is I don't know where the money is going to be from, worse, I know I can't afford it, but I'm putting it on credit and I'll figure it out later. And we don't want to do that. We want to fund our future, not be paying for our past, right? So we want that for you. What you said, Kelly, Christmas is a season of generosity, God's greatest gift, right? God's generous gift. And then we get to play that out in little parts. And it should be fun. You should look forward to it. But it can be very anxiety producing, knowing, I don't know if I can really afford this. So we want that for you. We want you to be able to be generous and have a good time. So you're going to
feel good about it.
And you're going to set that up now. So all you if you do nothing else, like let's all agree you're going to be bougie next Christmas. So set yourself up a separate savings account right now. Do what Vanessa said, get a ballpark idea of what you spent and just divide that by 12 and start setting that aside. You can do it automatically. We'll get into that more right now. And just set yourself up for a better holiday season. No more holiday hangovers.
If you check out, at least from this podcast, if you're tuning out, at least pick up that and start saving for Christmas. Open up a savings account, label it Christmas, label it Don't Touch This, label it whatever you want, giving season, and then put all your money in there. So that way next Christmas it's there.
I feel like we're all going to spot each other out and about shopping and be like, have that knowing wink, like that little pep in our step. And like, yeah, I got my Pretty Women bags, but they're paid for, baby. Like that. I feel like all the budget besties and perfect-ish girls are going to be like that knowing wink, like, yes, we did it.
I got you. Yeah.
We did it. Okay. So it sounds great. Like, yeah, let's go. Just like going to the gym on January 1st or 2nd sounds great. Just like all that. But this is going to be maybe mentally or emotionally or physically even, this is hard sometimes to start. Why is budgeting, why is it hard? Like it sounds great. The result sounds great. Why is it hard? And I know you're going to make it less hard for us. Don't worry. But let's just kind of drop it in everybody's lap. Why is it hard?
Because you don't know what you don't know. So every other skill that you have, that you have taken the time to learn, to study, and we expect, all of our lovely budget besties and our perfect-ish pals, they have this level of expectation on themselves they should already know. And so you have the not knowing, you have this heaviness of I should have known, and that's what you're putting on in this budget thing, but you don't know, and that's okay. That's okay, especially considering how complicated finances are right now. Give yourself permission to just be a learner, and that's okay.
Yeah, you're so successful in all these other areas of your life, right? You're a wonderful friend. You're very involved in your church. You're an amazing business person, or you work for a company and you're very high up. You're making really good money, and you feel like Shana said, you should know exactly what to do with it by default. You think, but the reality is that nobody actually sat down and showed you how to set up a system or how to budget properly. So by default, again, the word has become the B word. It's taboo.
And it's also the kind of thing when you are out for the fancy coffee with whipped cream that you probably can't afford with a friend, you're not going to say, I need to tell you something. My money's a mess. Right? So now we have the shame, I should know it. I should be doing it, but I'm certainly not going to tell anybody, and I'm not going to ask for help. And then we just continue that vicious cycle. So that's why we're talking about it. We are talking about it, and we're saying, shame off of you. Like they say at my church, shame off of you. So today's a new day and you guys are going to help us with that. It's not only though, sometimes we don't know how to do it, but sometimes we don't want to do it. Because we think, oh, that doesn't sound fun at all. And it sounds restrictive. And I don't want to come from a place where I don't get to do what I want to do.
Yeah. So, we're all about being bougie on a budget. So we're going to make your budget fun. It's going to have remember, we're going to be shopping and winking at each other. That's the vibes. Yeah. That's the vibes. Okay. So we're going to set this budget up. But what I want to point to is I don't want to do it. What you said about the gym. It's like January 1st, I went. And then January 2nd, I stayed in my pants at home. So what we're going to teach you today is how to set it up so it runs automatically. So imagine that your body got up and went to the gym without you and you got to stay in bed. That's what we're going to do with your budget. It's just going to happen whether you have willpower or not, girl. And that is what's going to fund all of the fun things that you want to do with your life.
Yeah, because what we know is that the more that you're touching it, the more manual it is. You're not going to do it. So what we have created is a system that you just have to do the work one time. Okay.
When you have the willpower on January 1st.
Right. This is the perfect time
when you're
right now.
listening to the podcast, like press pause at the very end. Don't do anything else except for write a review and follow Budget Besties. I mean, you got to do that. And then do the thing that they're telling you. And then it's like, set it and forget it. Okay. Yes. This is exciting.
Yeah. So we're just really excited to just show people a different way. Mm-hmm. Like we said, you've been writing words and numbers on paper and calling in a budget and be like, well, this stinks. This is terrible. I'm not good at it. This isn't working for me. Well, it's because that's all you did was write words and numbers on paper. So it's not actually a budget. You need to do something with it once you create it. And that's why we've set up a system for you.
Yeah, you don't need another budget. You need a budget system. That's what we're here to help you with.
I have a feeling too, this has evolved. You've been working with clients for a long time. And you've seen what works, what doesn't work, and now you're in your sweet spot. Like, know this works. You have the data for it. You've got the testimonials of this is doable. So, all right, tell me about it. Fill me in. Pretend I don't know anything.
Well, you know a lot, Kelly. So,
but pretend I don't. Get me started.
So, we are all in our sweet spot. And that is what has changed the game for us because we're not all writing a budget like we were 18. I remember last time you were on here and you were talking about with your husband at the grocery store, like, can we get this extra orange? I don't know. This orange might be too much for the budget, but we're not there anymore. Praise God, right? We've worked and we've been diligent. And so now we have more to budget with. So that makes it fun, right? So that's why we're in a sweet spot. We make good money and now we're going to set it up to work for us and to match our values and our lifestyle correctly.
Yeah, because you're making the most money you probably ever made right now in your life. And that's going to continue to grow. So what we want to do is set up a system so that way you can, like Shana said, have something to show for your money because so many of our clients in the past, especially we started it'll be almost 5 years ago. Ooh. Almost, yeah. So, but the idea is we set up a system not knowing it was really a system with them. Her and I were doing this system separate before we came together going, hey, this is what I do. Oh, that's what you do. Oh my gosh, it's working. I love it. And so we started teaching our clients this way and they love it. And so yes, it has formed into kind of an expert way that we feel like is working and they love it. Our listeners love it. And it's been nothing but fruitful for them.
So give us an overview. We're talking about system that sometimes can sound elusive. Like, what is a system? Like, is it this crazy spreadsheet? Is it this, like all these documents? What do you mean? What do you mean by system? Give me a little bit of insight as to, all right, I might want to work with you guys. I definitely want to ship my body to the gym once and then just have it like automatically working out. Okay, but I want to do that with my money. What do you mean by system? What is this going to look like?
Mm-hmm. So, for example, a lot of people come to us, they've been using YNAB or Every Dollar, these other budgets. And for some reason, they can't figure out why it's not working. Well, that is not a system. What happens is they put some numbers in and they have to keep going and tracking things and doing a lot of back work that is actually not useful. What we want you to do is plan your money, plan every dollar for fun, not just for like groceries and bills, okay, for fun too. And then we want you we are going to use your bank as a personal assistant to pay your bills automatically, to set up automatic transfers to your spending and saving. So everything is funded. So you wake up on payday and you have money for spending, you have money for groceries, you're saving for your trip to Bali, whatever it is, everything is happening automatically. And that's what we mean by system. So we have a very specific budget, but then we also use that bank account to make it automatic.
Yeah. So the first step in this is to open up a separate checking account for spending. Okay. So you probably have all of your expenses coming in and out of one account, which makes it very convoluted because there's a lot going on. You're paying the mortgage, you're shopping at Target, you're paying for your kids' sports camps, you're shopping for Christmas, and you don't know what's coming out when and what's been cleared and what still has to clear. And do you have enough to buy groceries? Like there's just a lot going on. And so the idea here is to separate that. Okay. We want to only have one account. We call it the bills account. So think of a funnel, like your money is coming in, it's first hits the bills account. From there, you only leave in there what's enough to pay for bills. And then from there, it gets funneled out to some spending accounts and some savings accounts. But we want you to open up at least one separate spending account that you're spending all your money, right? So this is where you're shopping for Christmas, you're shopping for gas and groceries, pocket money, all of that.
Yeah. And that's just the first step because we know it might sound overwhelming, but once you see the difference and not having to like do mental math in the moment, whether if I can go to Target or I can get my mortgage paid, right? That's the first step. And then we want you to get different accounts. Some people think, oh, that sounds like too much or whatever. Well, actually, our budgets, our financial life is way more complicated than it used to be. Okay. Yes, we used to have one checking account when we were 18, or the money management system used to be grandma's tin can in her house, right? Or between the mattress. That's like how we organized our money. Things are way more complicated. We have way more bills. Everything is digital. You can't get away from that. So we have taken, kind of that digital envelopes or that cash envelope system and put it into your bank. You can open more than one savings account, friend. You can open several checking accounts, and then you can organize your money thinking of them sort of like cash envelopes, different envelopes for everything that you want to do. And then you always know exactly where money is coming from, because that really is what causes the anxiety. It's like, okay, I have to pay for these tires. They're looking at me waiting for money. Where is it coming from? Yeah. But what you'll have is a savings bucket that's vehicle maintenance, and you'll be able to easily transfer it over and feel like a boss.
Yeah. So what we normally do is if we know that, or we don't know if there's money in the checking account, we just swipe a credit card because that's easy. It's easy to do that knowing that there's a credit limit there that you're not going to go over, but you know that at least the tires are going to get covered. So if we have a couple of savings accounts, maybe one's travel, maybe one's Christmas, maybe one's vehicle maintenance. Don't ask me how many I have. I've lost count. But I love it. It's not complicated for me. I know exactly what money I have for what category in my life, and it is so freeing, right? So that's the idea, is to have a system set up to where you have income, it goes into bills, from bills, it gets spread out into your separate spending accounts and your separate savings accounts automatically, like Shana was alluding to before. You didn't do anything. All you did was set it up and it's hands off.
Okay, so you said you don't know how many accounts you do have, but I want you to guess.
Oh,
Only knows. Because people are thinking, like 2, right? One for this, one for that. You don't have to know exactly, Vanessa, but give people an example. And would you give a few more categories too? Because again, It's like, well, gosh, I forgot that every year I probably do need maintenance on this, or like I have pest control, but it's once a quarter. And so I sort of forgot,
Yeah.
What do you mean by all these categories? Give us a few examples.
So those are like quote unquote unexpected expenses that people come at us and they're like, yeah, but what about all the things that just pop up during the year? And I'm like, give me one. And they're like, well, taxes. Okay, well, that's coming. That's not unexpected. Christmas is not unexpected. Your children's birthdays, y'all, they're the same time every year. So we really want to be, be organized. I think I have 15, and probably I need to add one. So there's that. My bank loves me. Don't worry. But the idea here is, annual bills. That's a huge savings bucket. Prime, you have to pay for Prime. If you do annual subscriptions for Disney Plus or Hulu, things like that, your property taxes, car insurance, all of that, that is an annual bill. So we want to kind of make an account for that. Home maintenance, vehicle repair, like Shana was alluding to, travel, kids' education. What else?
Summer camps, stuff like that. Christmas gifts. It really is according to your lifestyle. So, and there's several on the spending side as well. So we have groceries. Vanessa couples groceries and gas, and so do very many people. But you might have that separate, gas and groceries. We have a kids account, so that when the kids come asking for the field trip money or whatever it is, there's always money set aside there. A lot of families have what they call family funds. So you might call it restaurants, but Maybe it's family fun because you're going to go bowling or you want to go get ice cream or whatever. And you always have money for that. And that is really the key to ours, or one of the big keys to our system is you can be bougie on a budget. You can have all of the fun things you want in this budget. We're not telling you not to. We're saying plan for it so that when the time comes, you know where the money is coming from.
I mean, imagine having like 3 debit cards in your wallet. And one is gas and groceries, one is personal pocket money, and one is family fun. And you can bunch anything and whatever you want into those categories, right? It's easy to know it's either gas and groceries, it's either money for me, or everything else like restaurants, like Shana said, or ice cream or goofy golf. That's all family fun. And those are the only decisions you have to make when it comes to shopping in the moment. Like they're already planned.
I think what's so encouraging about this idea is just like, and I'm going to relate it back to time. People think that in order to be a good time manager, you have to get up at 4:30 in the morning. You have to do like these 10 steps in the morning. And then right? And I think what they think of is restriction. And the reality is, if you'll set a few things in place, like you said, that become habit, that are routine, it's freedom. So that's what you're giving people. It's not restriction of you can't spend or you can't enjoy life. It is really unlocking freedom that you're going to enjoy it so much more and be at peace.
Yeah. Well, it's permission to spend is what it is. You're giving yourself permission to spend. And you're also, Callie, getting freedom from the anxiety, because that's what we want. We don't want you to feel like, I don't know if I can afford this. We don't want you to feel like I feel bad because I'm spending this, and I'm not sure if everything else is taken care of. That's not what we're here for. We also don't want you to feel like, there's a lot of other systems out there where you're not allowed to do anything until you get out of debt, or you're not allowed to. It is restrictive. That's not what we're here for. Again, you are in a place where you're making really good money. We just want your budget to allow for all the things that you want and that you need in your lifestyle. And that's what it's going to do.
Yeah. We really pride ourselves on not having a cookie cutter system. Every single one of our clients has a budget that's tailored to their lifestyle and goals, as they should, because it's very different than the next person. So like Shana was saying, what you have set aside for spending money is what your budget allows. What you have set aside for gas and groceries is probably what your kids need, right? But knowing that we have the money for it and knowing that it's always going to get replenished on payday really takes that anxiety, takes the stress off of it. Because like I had a client yesterday, she said, my spending account is 0, but I know it's getting replenished tomorrow, so I'm good. But I said, oh, that's interesting. And it kind of put things into perspective. So I said, before when that happened, it was more stressful because you never know when it was coming. And she's like, yeah, it was just this idea of maybe I could go to Target, maybe I didn't. So then I would just overspend because I never knew when I was going to actually get the money to do that. But now I have a set amount that I know that I for me, like for her, that I can spend, and it always gets replenished. So it's really freeing for her.
That's really good. And yeah, because the temptation is I don't feel good about what I don't have, so I'm going to go spend, so it fills me up, and now I feel even worse. I mean, we can relate that to so many other areas. I was also thinking that this is such a good example for our kids.
Yeah.
Because again, money, I mean, do they even teach money in school anymore? I mean, I know our kids go to a kind of a unique type of education, classical education, but I'm thinking, like, do they even teach money? So it's not only they're seeing mom or dad having a healthy relationship with money, but that's what they're going to have too. So that's like a byproduct, if nothing else, for your kids.
Yeah. And we have a fun little saying, we don't want to create another you. And we love you. We love you. But we want to 10x where our kids are starting from, right? We don't want them to start where we were and it took us till 30 or whatever to get it figured out. So we want to teach them as much as we can right now. And as you know, Callie, you're such a big proponent of this. Like, kids are capable of so much more than we ever expect of them. Yeah. And they can do this. All of us have 16-year-olds. And so they are able to manage this if you just walk alongside with them. And, our boys are paying for their own insurance and their gas, and they're working a little bit, managing their time, which is very fun to do as an athlete and someone who has to pay some of their own bills, but then also managing their budget. And it's so important to give them that practice, right? Right now, they're practicing because it's going to get to the next level once they leave our home. But now we have the time to talk and speak life into them about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So is this system something that I do on my own? Do I need, like, let's get to the nitty gritty. How do I get my hands on it? And do I do it solo? Do I get help? Is it depend? Like, like, where do I find it? Help.
Well, we have put in a very nice workbook for you. It's a Google Sheet workbook, and it has everything that you need to be super successful. We have a DIY version of that, and it's called our Simplified Budget System. And it has a mini course in there that shows you exactly how to use everything. You can also sign up for coaching to work with us one-on-one for a more done-for-you type program.
Yeah, but we have so many people that get the budget and they say, this is exactly what I did. I didn't know I needed. But Callie, let's take a minute. So the system tells you, we have walkthroughs, we have trainings for how to use it, how to set it up. But is it more important? Probably true that it has checkboxes. Okay. So it's pretty to look at.
Beautiful.
First of all, it has checkboxes, which is important for everything. Like you need the wins. Okay. Of just checkboxes. And then guess what else it has? When you check it off, Vanessa's like so smart. She made it. So when you check it, it like grays it out and crosses it off. So it like declutters the whole thing and you feel like, oh, so it's like magic, really. Yeah. Really, it's magic. And also what's really important is it does all the math for you. Hello, let's understand that that's very important. Yeah. Nobody needs to be doing math. And like you fill out January, February setup. You can still change February because obviously there might be, but you don't have to refill or redo. And it gives you a whole system to get through the whole year, regardless of what your goals are. We've got everything covered.
Yeah. So we just messaged our clients and said, listen, we have our end of year sessions coming up. Because we meet with them on the 1st and 3rd or 2nd and 4th weeks of the month. So they're having their last sessions coming up soon. And so we are filling out the end of their workbook for the year and then uploading all the information into the new one to start the new year fresh with all good, like, fresh numbers, right? Yeah. And put everything in. So that way, because the idea is that you use one every year and you have lifetime access. You buy it one time, you have the course, you have lifetime access to all the updates. So that way you can continue to be successful and be bougie on a budget.
So obviously we'll put links in the show notes. And where can they find you guys if they just want to go straight to you? Tell us where to find you.
Well, first of all, the link is budgetbesties.com/Callie. And you don't have to sing it when you type it in, but we recommend
it. Oh, but you do. You do. And a little spirit fingers doesn't hurt. A little shoulder dance. Okay.
Okay. And then once you're done with that, and after you've already left a review for Perfect-ish, then you can come check us out. We're in the same app that you're listening to this in, Financial Coaching for Women. We have our own podcast. So we'd love to have them come listen to us if they haven't had enough already.
I feel like, we've got this similar vibe going on. So they love you, they'll love me. They love me, they'll love you. It's perfect harmony. Okay. So I want to kind of wrap up with this thought. Well, first of all, I have gotten to experience this system and it is amazing. And I'm going to tell on myself because that's just who I am. I know there's like the great video and you watch it in the tutorial, or there was me that was like, Vanessa, why is this thing that I'm clicking on? She's like, now it was in the video. So I'm like, yeah, I know, but can you just tell me? so it really, you don't need the two of you, but some of you are going to say, I really do need the accountability. I need somebody to tell me like, it's going to be okay. You've got this. So are there is there a testimonial or a success story? I know I didn't prep you for this, but is there somebody that comes to mind that maybe is like us and it was somebody who came in, maybe it was just, whether it was, I've never been taught this, or I have a little bit of maybe identity crisis here because I do make the money, but I don't have the money in my account. So is there a story or a person that you're like, this is how we make people feel because we get them set up for success?
Mm-hmm. Do you have someone in mind?
Yeah, well, I mean, we just got off a testimonial call with our former client. They were both active duty Army officers, and they were stationed separately for half of their marriage in the first 5 years. They had 2 kids. Like, they just had everything going on. They were making great money, but they were just using credit just to get, like, they were sprinting through the days. And so she came on and she said, basically her journey, they paid off $15,000 of debt. She got transitioned out of the Army. They had $10,000 saved up just specifically to help her transition out without income. And because she had a baby the same month. And so she could just be on maternity leave. And she, she was just speaking about how, she felt they did feel bad that they didn't know, but she just took the leap, got the education, learned, and now they're just in such a better place.
Well, and I want to add, she didn't just pay off $15,000 in debt and put $10,000 in savings during her time with coaching. She also went on multiple trips. Mm-hmm. She also paid for a midwife in cash. Like she was living while she was doing that. So if you actually think of how much money like she could have put in savings or paid off debt, it was so much more. But that's not the point. The point is she was able to live and do all these things while she was coaching because it was really important to her.
Well, and she said she became and I remember the session to this day. She came on and she finally felt confident. She felt like she knew what was happening. She can manage this thing and she's in charge of it. It's not like running her life, and she felt really good about that, which is so important. We have so much other things to do with our brain calories, to do with our nervous system. Okay. Yeah. We don't need to be stressing about the budget and you don't have to be. We're just going to organize it and set it on autopilot. And then you can go, live your best life and it'll be funded.
I think too, if there is an encouragement that we can give people that you can be enjoying and living your life now as you're making these changes, you don't have to wait. I think again, people are like putting their lives on hold until I have it all figured out or all perfect. But you could start today on a budget system that you guys have. You can still be enjoying January. You can still be doing the fun things. You don't have to wait until a year from now because you've been, hoarding all your money and you haven't been spending and you've been home every Friday night eating ramen. And so I think that's the point too. Like you can enjoy the time and your life now while also taking yourself to the next level. It's so good. Yep. You guys are brilliant. I know you are. I know you're brilliant. And time is money. Money is time, right? It's so interconnected. Absolutely. You've just given us back the gift of time of not having to spend a lot of this energy and putting it in our weekly plan and every, Sunday night having to sit down with your spouse and figuring it out. We're done. We're done with that. We're good with that. So now that you've given us back time, we've changed some things on the podcast, but one thing we didn't change is how we give everybody a bonus hour at the end to do with whatever you want, because now we've got all this extra time. So I want to know how you would spend an extra bonus hour.
Well, I'm cheating because when we talked about it, it's the first thing that came to mind because of, we may have pre-recorded a little bit, but all I want to do is watch Christmas movies and make Christmas ornaments. Okay. Give me 1 hour. I kind of need more than that, but with my girls and we need extra time because this season, you know how it goes, but it's like, if I got 1 extra hours, that's what we would be doing. Hallmark movies, Christmas ornaments. Let's go.
Well, let me just interject and say that is what I do. So we're recording this I don't even know when. We're December. Yeah, we're recording this in December. That is what I love to do, Shana, is I love to say, one of the things we're going to do this holiday season, like it's the most magical time of the year, right? Yeah, why are we not doing the things that bring us the most joy and the magic? And if we're saying yes to things that are not going to be in that bonus hour, then that's where I come in. So yes, we're gonna grant you that bonus hour. I'm gonna have you find it, and you're gonna take a picture and send it to me.
Genie, I'm like, you got it.
Yes, boom, done. Okay, Vanessa, what about you?
Okay, so for me, it's interesting. Mine is family time. I think right now in this season of life that I've got going on, we're never in the house at the same time. Everyone is somewhere at all times, and so I would love to have a time where we're all together and no one is distracted, nobody has anywhere to be, and we can have a full conversation without it being on the go.
Notes.
Yes, not cliff notes of the day. That would be my wish right now, just because, again, that is the season that we're in.
Well, I relate 1,000%. And I pray that all three of us and you listening to that you would be intentional, whether it can happen this week or it can happen next week or the week after, but that you would be intentional so that you can live out what means the most to you and what matters the most to you in those bonus hours. So, all right, girls, one more time, tell everybody where to find you. Let's get everybody, honestly, if there is one thing, yes, physical health is really important, but the money piece is like where everything else falls in line, right? So if we can get this one, that's why I'm having you at the very beginning of this year. This is this important. This is this important. I could have had anybody on. This is this important. So where can they find you? Let's get everyone on this budget system that allows us to be bougie.
Really quick. Money makes the world go round. Like it just like we need it to function. It is, but we want you to use it as a tool, right? We want you to see it just as a tool and as a resource. So it's that important to get in order so that way everything else in your life flows smoothly.
Well, and you sort of alluded to it, but every goal or resolution or whatever you may affirmation, whatever you set this January, money is tied into it somehow. So let's just get this wrapped up and that way all your goals can be funded, right? So again, go to budgetbesties.com/Kelly. And again, singing, not optional.
It works.
We
better.
made a rule.
Makes better.
So obviously KALI. And then also come find us on the podcast, Financial Coaching for Women.
Okay. Well, thank you, ladies. Like I said, when I dreamt about what this new year was going to look like and who would I want it to kick it off with, it was definitely you. And again, thank you for being a champion for me and for my community and for everything that we have going on. I can never, ever, ever properly thank you, but I will keep trying. So love you, ladies. Let's all be bougie on a budget together. Yes, because it's really not about being perfect. It is about progress. Well, actually, it's about being close to perfect. That's where perfect-ish comes in.
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I love having you on. God bless you all. Thanks for tuning in to the Perfect-ish Time Management Podcast. Let's keep the fun going. Follow me on social and join our Facebook community. And if you're ready for some one-on-one time management coaching to reach the top of your game without burnout or guilt, I'd love to chat. Book a free interest call using the link in the show notes or send me a DM. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a 5-star review and share it with a friend who's ready to master their time too. Remember, we're in this together, making real progress towards becoming perfect-ish.